Yo, hello. What's up, everyone? Everyone doing okay? Good. Today we're learning Daf Samech Tes of Masechta Shabbis. It's cool Daf. I think it's might be a little complex, but not too bad, kind of. Let's just go with that. A quick overview before we begin. Towards the beginning of the daf, so we're still talking about Munbaz and his opinion about comparing Shogeg and Mazid, and saying that even when it comes to Shogeg, it's okay if you kind of do it with the idea, with knowledge that what you're doing is a malacha. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. We're going to get into a distinction between Shigegas aveirah versus Shigegas korben. We will explain what that means, but just literally it means if you are mistaken regarding the actual aveirah that you're doing, the actual malacha that you're doing, versus making a mistake regarding the requirement to bring a korban chatas. And then on the second amud, we're going to get into a little bit of what do you do if you're stuck in the desert and you forget what day of the week it is. That's a problem. Oh, and also your phone died, so you don't have internet. What do you do? So, well, how do you figure out when Shabbos is? So, this is what's in store for today. Let's get started, friends. We're going to start on Daf Samaches Amud Beis, about 4 or 5 lines before it gets wide. My taima de Munbaz. How come Munbaz compares Shogeg and Mazid to say that just like Mazid has a knowledge of what you're doing, or that you're doing what you're doing and that it's not allowed to be done, so also when it comes to Shogeg, there has to be some element of knowledge that what you're doing, or even if there is an element of knowledge that what you're doing is not allowed, you would nonetheless be chayiv to bring a korban chatas. So, Dichsiv, as the pasuk says, Torah achas yeh lachem la'oseh b'shgaga v'samach lev hanefesh asher taisa b'yad rama. So, we have 2 psukim here in Sefer Bamidbar, right? In the 15th chapter, we have verse 29 and verse 30. Now, they are talking about bringing a korban chatas. Verse 29 talks about when you do something by accident, immediately followed by verse 30, which talks about when you do something on purpose. So again, let's read it inside. Right, Dichsiv, as the pasuk says, Torah achas yeh lachem la'oseh b'shgaga. It will be one Torah for you, for anybody who does by accident. V'samach lein, it says immediately afterwards, v'nefesh asher taisa b'yad rama, somebody you would do with a lifted hand, i.e., somebody does on purpose. So, we see, by the juxtaposition of these psukim, hikish shogeg lemezid. The pasuk compares, the Torah compares the first pasuk of shogeg to the second pasuk of mezid. Ma mezid shais lo yediyah, av shogeg shais lo yediyah. Just like when you do something on purpose, you know what you're doing. So also, when you do something by accident, I guess even if there is a certain level of knowledge, and we said yesterday, even if at the time, right, Rabbi Akiva Amet, took Munbaz one step further to say that, and Munbaz agreed, which is that even if at the time that you're doing the malacha, you know that what you're doing is not allowed, i.e., basically makes it mazid, right? It basically makes it like you're doing it on purpose, still, you would be able to bring a korban chatas. Okay, fine. Alright, we're gonna dive a little deeper into Munbaz's opinion soon, but that is where he gets it from the juxtaposition of these 2 psukim, the first one talking about Shogeg, the second one talking about Mazid. So we see that just like Mazid has knowledge, so even Shogeg, if there's knowledge at the time that you're doing it, that what you're doing is a malacha and it shouldn't be done on Shabbos, nonetheless, you will still be able to bring a korban chatas. V'Rabbanan, what do the Rabbanan do with this juxtaposition? So, Hi Torah achas my abdile. What do they do with this juxtaposition by this pasuk of Torah achas? So, Mibailu lichidemakre le Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi livrei. So, what they use it for is like what Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi said to his son. Torah achas yeh lachem la'oseh b'shgaga. Oh, so we have the pasuk that we just read that says that it will be one Torah for all of you, i.e., a reference to all of the aveirahs in the Torah that you would bring that you would do by accident and bring a korban chatas for. Uchsiv, and then we have 7 psukim earlier, so still in the same perek in Sefer Bamidbar, right? Still in the 15th chapter of Sefer Bamidbar, but a few verses earlier, it says, also in the context of korban chatos, mechisishku v'lo saisu es kol hamitzvos ha'ele, that if you will make a mistake and you won't do any of these mitzvos, now that pasuk is in the context of avodah zarah, okay? That pasuk is in the context of avodah zarah. And we're saying v'lo saisu es kol hamitzvos ha'ele. Basically, the Gemara or the drasha is to compare avodah zarah to all of the mitzvos in the Torah that you'd bring a korban chatas for. And we'll go a little bit deeper in a minute, okay? Uchsiv, and then we have that third pasuk of v'anefesh asher taisa b'yad rama, anybody who does something on purpose. Okay, so we have a whole big kind of spaghetti situation over here, right? We have the comparison of shogeg to mezid by those two psukim. One is shogeg, one is mezid. Now we have this third pasuk, which is talking about avodah zarah, right? But it also says v'lo saisu es kol mitzvos ha'ele. All of these mitzvos, where we seem to be comparing, all of the mitzvos that you bring a korban chatas to avodah zarah, right? And we also have the connection to mezid, right? So let's see. So what do we do with this? So the Gemara says, hukshu kulam la'avodah zarah. So all of the mitzvos in the Torah are compared to avodah zarah. Malahalan davar shechayav mazdon ukares v'shigegas uchatos. Just like by avodah zarah, it's something that when you do it bizadon, when you do it on purpose, you are chayav kares, and when you do it by accident, you would be chayav to being a korban chatos. Well, therefore, also af kol davar shechayav mazdon ukares chayav v'shigegas uchatos. So also any mitzvah in the Torah that if the punishment for doing it on purpose would be kares, well then if you do it by accident, you're going to be chayav a korban chatas. That is what the Chachamim do with that. So those two psukim that Mumbaz learns to compare shogeg and mezid, to say that even by shogeg, if at the time that you're doing the aveirah, you know that what you're doing is wrong, you could still bring a korban chatas. The Chachamim use that juxtaposition as part of a drasha from which they learn that any mitzvah in which the punishment for doing it on purpose would be, or any aveirah, I guess, the punishment would be kares. Well, if you do that aveirah b'shogeg, by accident, you would be chayiv to bring a korban chatos. Now, the question that I'm sure many people have been thinking, ve'ele munbaz shgaga b'mai. What's the deal with Munbaz, right? What an interesting name, right? Munbaz. What a random name. Anyways, Munbaz. I don't know, usually it's like Rabbi Yehuda or Rabbi Meir. It's just Munbaz. And he's a Tana. Okay, it comes up a Hilchos Shabbos. Anyways, so Munbaz says that if you do a malacha on Shabbos, I'm just going to take a random malacha, kindling a fire, right? Oh wait, one second, that's actually not such a good thing. Let's not say kindling a fire, because that's actually machlokas, right? Havar the lav yotzas. Okay, who can give me an example of a different malacha on Shabbos? Okay, fine, no problem. Plowing. Thank you. Good suggestion. So, plowing. So, let's say you were plowing on Shabbos on purpose, right? So Munbaz says that you could still bring a korban chatas. But we know that when it comes to korban chatas, you have to do it by accident, not on purpose, right? Because Munbaz says even if at the time that you're doing it, even at the time that you're plowing your field, you know that you shouldn't be plowing your field right now. So he nonetheless says you can bring a korban chatas. But wouldn't that make it b'mezid? And if it's mezid, it's a chayiv kares. Like in order to bring a korban chatas, there has to be some element of shogeg. You have to be doing it by accident to some degree, but Munbaz seems to be saying that even if at the time that you do this malacha of plowing, you know that you shouldn't be doing it, you're doing it anyways, so how can you bring a korban chatas? What element of shogeg is there? So ve'ele Munbaz shigaga b'mai. What element of shogeg is there when you do something with knowledge that what you're doing you shouldn't be doing? So the answer is kagon sheshagag b'korben. This is a very interesting distinction that I hope I'm understanding right, because I feel like I shouldn't be understanding right, because it doesn't really make that much sense to me. But nonetheless, there's a bug flying around. Alright, anyways, what can you do? So, but I did look it up in the art scroll, and I do think that this is what it means. So, listen up. It means this. So there's a distinction between Shigegas aveirah versus Shigegas korben, okay? Shigegas aveirah means that, there's some element of shgaga, there's some element of making a mistake in the aveirah itself that you're doing, okay? For example, if you're plowing your field and you didn't realize that you're not allowed to plow your field on Shabbos. So inherent in what you're doing, i.e. plowing the field, there is a mistake, i.e. you didn't realize that you shouldn't be plowing your field. So that would be Shigegas aveirah. You made a mistake in the aveirah that you're doing. Shigegas korben means that there was no mistake when you did the aveirah, right? You plowed your field. You knew that you shouldn't be plowing your field. Not only did you know that you shouldn't be plowing your field, you knew that by plowing your field, you're going to be chayiv kares. And you did it. There was no mistake over there. So where was the mistake? The mistake was technically you didn't know that if you would have done it by accident, you would be chayiv a korban chatas. Meaning, the aveirah itself there was no mistake. There was a technical error, which is that you didn't know that if you were to have done this thing by accident, you'd be chayiv a korban chatas. That's what you didn't know. Shigegas korben. You just didn't know that there was sort of a korban chatas involved for Chilul Shabbos when it was by accident. That's what you didn't know. And therefore, according to Munbaz, that alone, that sort of lack of knowledge, that lack of understanding regarding Hilchos Shabbos is enough to consider your intentional transgression, right? Your intentional plowing of your field on Shabbos, knowing that you shouldn't be doing it, knowing that there's a chiyuv kares involved. But the fact that what you didn't know is that there is a chiyuv chatas for for plowing your field by accident on Shabbos, that's enough to consider, to introduce an element of shogeg into what he did to enable him to bring a korban chatas. Okay? So back inside. Ve'ela Munbaz shigaga b'ma'ai. So according to Munbaz, what element of shogeg is there when he does a melacha knowing that he shouldn't be doing this melacha and that there's a chiyuv kares? The answer is kigon sheshagag b'korben, where he didn't know that there's a chiyuv korban chatas when you do melacha on Shabbos b'shogeg, and that's enough for Munbaz talam to bring a korban chatas. For Rabbanan, shigegas korben lo shma shgaga. Whereas according to the Rabbanan, they don't consider that to be a shogeg, and therefore they will say, if you do a melacha on Shabbos knowing that what you're doing is not allowed to be done, so, with knowledge at the time that you're doing it, so then you would not be able to bring a korban chatas. Okay. Even though you may not know that about shigegas korban, even though you may not know that there's a chiyuv korban if you do it by accident, they don't, that's irrelevant. The shogeg needs to be in the activity itself that you're doing. And now we want to understand, great. So the Rabbanan's opinion is that the shogeg, the mistake, needs to be inherent as part of the melacha itself that you're doing it. In our case, as part of the plowing, okay? Now, there's still a question. At what point does there need to be a mistake? What if I plow my field and I know that I'm not allowed to plow my field? But what I don't know is that by plowing my field, I'm now chayiv kares. Is that considered shogeg or not? Or does it have to be, in order for me to be considered shogeg and be able to bring a korban chatas, I have to not know that plowing is not allowed, right? So it's a machlokas. Rabbi Yochanan Amar, Kevin sheshagag b'chares afal pi shehezid bilav. So Rabbi Yochanan's opinion is, even if you plow your field intentionally, you know that you're not allowed to plow your field on Shabbos, and you do it anyways. But what you didn't know is that by plowing your field, you'll be chayav kares. Well, that would be enough to be considered shogeg, and he would be allowed to bring a korban chatas. Reish Lakish Amar, ad sheyishgog bilav v'chares. Whereas Reish Lakish says, in order to bring a korban chatas, he would have to also, to qualify for korban chatas, he would have to also not know that plowing is asur on Shabbos. But if he knows that plowing is asur on Shabbos and he does it anyways, then he won't be able to bring a korban chatas. Amar Rava, my time of Shimon ben Lakish. So Rava wants to know, how come Reish Lakish says that he would have to both not know about that, or that plowing is asur on Shabbos, let alone chayiv kares. So Amar Kra, because the pasuk says, Asher lo seasena v'ashem. Right? The pasuk says in the korban of in the context of korban chatas, Asher lo teasena, i.e., he has to not know about the lav. V'ashem, and I guess he knows about the punishment, which is kares. Ad sheyishgog b'lav v'chares, that he has to be mistaken both about the fact that this thing is forbidden and also of the punishment of kares. Fine. B'lav v'chares sheba. Rabbi Yochanan ha'ikra Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish ma'avidlei. Now Rabbi Yochanan, who says that no, even if he knows that this is a malacha that he shouldn't be doing on Shabbos, the only thing he doesn't know is that it's a chiyuv kares, that would be enough to be considered shogeg. So what does he do with Rish Lakish's pasuk? Well, he quotes a brisa. That we have his brisa which uses this pasuk for something else. Mei am haaretz prat lemumar. That it says mei am haaretz. Mei, it means from, i.e., only a certain subset of the population is able to bring a korban chatas. Who is excluded from this? The people who are allowed to bring a korban chatas, a mumar, prat lemumar, to exclude somebody who kind of blatantly does aveirah, somebody who publicly does aveirah, somebody who is not interested in following the mitzvahs. So this person would be unable to bring a korban chatas. Reb Shimon ben Elazar Omer, says Reb Shimon ben Elazar, Mishum Reb Shimon, in the name of Reb Shimon, Asher lo se'asena v'ashem, and then says Reb Shimon ben Elazar that the pasuk says that any of these mitzvahs that he shouldn't do and he's guilty. Hashav midiaso mevi korban al shigegaso, lo shav midiaso eno mevi korban al shigegaso. So somebody who, so let's say you give him, so the example, I think it's in Rashi or something, if you would give him chaylev, right? Chaylev are certain fats that a person is not allowed to eat, and if you eat them, you're chayiv kares. So hashav midiaso, if you would give him chaylev and you would tell him that it's chaylev, or let's say he was about to eat chaylev and you would say, hey, wait, you know that that's chaylev, okay? And once, now that he knows that it's chaylev, he would not eat it. Maybe korban al shigegaso, so then, if he, did eat chaylev, not on purpose, but by accident, so then he would be allowed to bring a korban chatas, right? However, lo shav midiaso, but somebody who, if you were to have told him beforehand that, hey, this is chaylev, don't eat it, he wouldn't have cared, well then eno maybe korban al shigegaso, then he doesn't bring a korban for the fact that he ate this chaylev by accident. Tnan, we learn epis in a Mishnah. Avos melachos abayim chaser achas, that there are 39 melachos, right? 40 minus 1 is 39. Ve'avinon ba, and we ask, minyan lamali, how come we have to say 39? Why not just list the avos melachos, and if I'm interested, I'll count them. What's the significance of telling us 39? So, V'am Rabbi Yochanan said, Rabbi Yochanan, Shemasan kulam behelam echad chayav kol achas v'achas. So, the reason why the Mishnah gives us a number is to tell us that if you would do all 39 melachos by accident, okay, so you'd have to bring 39 korbanos. Hechi mishkachas la, and how, in what context would you have to bring 39 korbanos for doing all 39 melachos? The answer is bizadun Shabbos v'shigegas melachos. When he knows that it's Shabbos, but he just didn't know that any of these 39 melachos were not allowed, okay? And he does all 39 of them, so he has to bring a korban chatas for each one of these 39. Now, Bishlam al Rabbi Yochanan, I understand Rabbi Yochanan's opinion. Damar kevan sheshagag b'chares afal pi she'ezid b'lav mishkachas lakagon diyada l'shabbos b'lav. I understand Rabbi Yochanan's opinion. What was Rabbi Yochanan's opinion? His opinion was that, even if you know that a certain malacha, back to our example of plowing, even if you know that plowing is not something that you're allowed to do on Shabbos, and you do it anyways. However, what you didn't know is that there's a chiyuv kares for plowing on Shabbos. Well, then you're allowed to bring a korban chatas for plowing on Shabbos. And therefore, you can explain that if you know that it's Shabbos and you just, and you know that all 39 malachos are malachos and you shouldn't be doing them, and you do all 39 malachos on Shabbos. What you didn't know is that there's a chiyuv kares for these 39 malachos. So you bring 39 korban chatases. El Reb Shimon ben Lakish, D'amar Yishgog belav uvchares, Diadale the Shabbos b'mai. So, according to Reish Lakish, however, he says that in order to be able to bring a korban chatas, you have to not even know that the malacha that you did was something that you're not allowed to do on Shabbos. Therefore, back to our plowing case, you would have to not know that you're not allowed to plow your field on Shabbos. Meaning, if you know that you're not allowed to plow your field on Shabbos and you plow your field anyways, Reish Lakish would say you would not be allowed to bring a korban chatas. You would only be allowed to bring a korban chatas if you had no clue that plowing was a malacha that you shouldn't be doing on Shabbos. Well, if that's the case, well, then it says that he knows that it's Shabbos, but he didn't know about any of the 39 malachos, and therefore he did all 39 of them. Well, if he didn't know about any of the 39 malachos, then what does it mean that he knows that it's Shabbos? Like what? That he just knows that today is called Shabbos? Like, if you don't know about any of the 39 malachos at all, right, you don't even know that any of them you're not allowed to do on Shabbos, well, then what makes Shabbos different than any other day of the week, right? What makes Shabbos different is the 39 malachos, right, that we don't do. But if, according to Reish Lakish, in order to be chayav a korban chatas, you have to not even know that this thing was even aser, well then, what do you know? Like, right, we're saying that you'd be chayav 39 korban chatas is when you know that it's Shabbos, but you didn't know that these things are aser. Well, what does it technically mean that you know that it's Shabbos? If you've never heard about any of these 39 malachos, what makes it Shabbos? So the Gemara answers, he knew about one thing. He knew that today is Shabbos, and on Shabbos we don't walk 2,000 amos out of the city. That according to Rabbi Akiva, Eruv, Tchumen is Mida Oraisa, but you're not chayav a korban chatas for it. So I guess it's not part of the 39, but it is Mida Oraisa according to Rabbi Akiva. So according to Reish Lakish, he knew that it's Shabbos, and he knew one thing, which is that on Shabbos we don't walk 2,000 amos out of the city. But the other 39 malachos he had never heard of. And he did all 39 of them. That's why he brings a korban chatas for each one. Alright, exciting stuff. Who is the author of the following brisa? Shagag bazeh vazeh, zeu shogeg amar b'Torah. If he didn't realize that today was Shabbos, and he also didn't realize that any of the malachas that he did were actually malachas that you shouldn't be doing on Shabbos, well then, zeu shogeg amar b'Torah. This is, it doesn't get any more shogeg than this, and you would bring a korban chatas. Hazid bazeh uvazeh, zoi mezid amar b'Torah. If he knew that it's Shabbos, and he knew that these malachas he shouldn't be doing, well then that's mezid. I guess it's a chiyuv kares. Shagag b'Shabbos ve'ezid b'malachis. If he didn't realize that today was Shabbos, but he did know that if it were Shabbos, he shouldn't be doing these things. O sheshagag b'malachos ve'ezid b'Shabbos, or he knew that today was Shabbos, but he didn't realize that the things that he did were things that we shouldn't be doing on Shabbos. Oh, and here's the important part, she'amar yodea ani she'melacha zo asura, or if he says, look, I know that I'm not allowed to do this melacha, aval eini yodea shechayavin alea korban olo, but I don't know if I were to do it by accident, if I would be chayav a korban chatas or not. So chayav, so he brings a korban chatas. So who would say that you bring a korban chatas for Shigegas korben, right? Meaning when you know that the aveirah, right, when you know that this is something that you shouldn't be doing, and you even know that there's a chiyuv kares, what you don't know is if you have to bring a korban or not for a shogeg. So who says that? Kiman, Munbaz. That's Munbaz's opinion, who says Shigegas korban, you're chayiv to bring a korban chatas for. Fine. Amar Abai, said Abai, Hakol modim b'shvuas bitoy. Who could tell me what a shvuas bitoy is? Shvuas bitoy is when you say, you make a shvua that I'm gonna eat pizza, or I'm not going to eat pizza, or I ate pizza, or I didn't eat pizza. Okay, that is a shvuas bitoy, right? That you express, something that you're going to do, that you're not going to do, that you did or that you didn't do. Okay, so Amar Abai, Akol Modim, everyone agrees b'shvuas bitoy when it comes to a shvuas bitoy, one of these swear things. she'ein chayavin aleh korben ad sheyishgog belav sheba. That you're not going to be chayav to bring a korban until you make a mistake by violating it. Meaning. When it comes to shvuas bitoy, if you accidentally violate your shvua, so then you would bring a korban chatas. For example, if I say, I swear that I'm not going to eat pizza, and then you accidentally eat pizza, you would bring a korban chatas. And the chiddush by shvuas bitoy is that there's no chiyuv kares. We had said earlier on the page that whenever you have something that you're chayiv kares for, so then if you do it by accident, you're chayiv a korban chatas. The chiddush over here by shvuas bitoy is that even though if you would intentionally eat pizza after swearing that you wouldn't, you would not be chayiv kares. Yet nonetheless, if you accidentally eat pizza, you would still bring a korban chatas. Okay. Now, so so Abaye says that everyone agrees that in order to be chayav a korban chatas by a shvuas bitoy, you would have to have a shogeg, you would have to accidentally eat in that pizza after you said that you weren't going to. But if you did it on purpose, you wouldn't bring a korban chatas. Everyone agrees on that. Okay? So Hakomodim man Rabbi Yochanan. So when we say everyone agrees, who's that coming to include? Who's the person that we would have thought may disagree with this, that we're saying that he even agrees? Rabbi Yochanan. Because what did Rabbi Yochanan say regarding our plowing example on Shabbos? Rabbi Yochanan said that even if I know that I shouldn't be plowing on Shabbos, the only thing that I didn't know is that if there's a chiyuv kares, nonetheless I could still bring a korban chatas. Meaning, even though I plowed my field on Shabbos knowing that I shouldn't be plowing my field on Shabbos, I could still bring a korban chatas. So I may have had the havmina to say that also over here by shvuas bitoy, where I say I'm not going to eat pizza, and I eat pizza anyways knowing that I shouldn't be eating pizza, maybe I could still bring a korban chatas. So Abaye is saying no, even Rabbi Yochanan would agree that when it comes to shvuas bitoy, if you said that you're not going to eat pizza, and then you intentionally eat pizza, then you would not be able to bring a korban chatas. Pshita, the Gemara says, obviously Rabbi Yochanan would say that by shvuas bitoy, you wouldn't be able to bring a korban chatas if you eat the pizza intentionally. Because ki ka'amar Rabbi Yochanan, when Rabbi Yochanan says by plowing, that if you intentionally plow your field, you could still bring a korban chatas, since you didn't know about the chiyuv kares, heicha de'ika kares. That is where, like in our plowing example, there's a chiyuv kares. And as long as you didn't know that you'll be chayiv kares for doing this thing that you're about to do, you could still bring a korban chatas. Aval hacha, but over here, by shvuas bitoy, dileka kares, well, there's no kares that you didn't know about because there is no kares. Well then, lo. Well then, he would say that you cannot bring a korban chatas. How come? Because what element of mistake is there? What element of shogeg is there, right? No, in this case, I say I'm not going to eat pizza. I then intentionally eat pizza. What element of shogeg is there to enable you to bring a korban chatas? By the plowing of the field, there's an element of shogeg in that I didn't know that there's a chiyuv kares associated with it. But over here by shvuas bitoy, where I say I'm not going to eat pizza and I eat pizza deliberately, intentionally knowing that I shouldn't be, what element of shogeg is there to say that you could bring a korban chatas? Therefore, even Rabbi Yochanan would agree, even Rabbi Yochanan obviously would agree that you would not be able to bring a korban chatas here. So Gemara says, actually, salgadai techamina, I might have the amina to say that hoel v'chidishu, that since shvuas bitoy is such a chiddush, what's the chiddush about shvuas bitoy? The b'chol Torah kula lo ashkechan lav d'maisi aleh korben, that since anywhere in the Torah, this is the only place where we have a lav. Again, the b'chol Torah kula lo ashkechan lav d'maisi aleh korben. B'diuk. That in the rest of the Torah, there's never an example of a simple lav that doesn't have a chiyuv kares. Simply something you shouldn't be doing. If I swear that I'm not going to eat pizza, I shouldn't be eating pizza, right? In general, we don't just bring a korban chatas for just stam a lav. V'hacha maisi, yet over here we're bringing a korban chatas for a simple lav, for simple something that you shouldn't do, even though there's no chiyuv kares. So kishagag bekorben nami lichayev. So therefore, I may have had a havmina to say that Rabbi Yochanan would say that this is an exceptional situation, and therefore even though he knew that he shouldn't be eating the pizza, and he ate the pizza anyways, but maybe what he didn't know was that there was a chiyuv korban associated with shvuas bitui when you do it by mistake. So maybe in this case, Rabbi Yochanan would be willing to recognize Shigegas korban like Munbaz and say that he would be able to bring the korban chatas even though he ate this pizza intentionally. Kamash Malan, that is what Abai is coming to teach us, that even Rabbi Yochanan would agree that in this case, when he eats this pizza intentionally, he cannot bring a korban chatas, and we do not recognize Shigegas korban. Meisvei, we have a kasha. Ezu Shigegas shvuas bitui lisha'avar. So our example of the pizza case that we've been giving is for the future, right? I make a swear, I'm not going to eat any pizza, right? And then I accidentally ate pizza so I could bring a korban chatas. What would be an example of a past tense, right? Meaning, if I swore that I didn't eat pizza, right? Or let's say I swore that I did eat pizza, right? But the fact of the matter is I didn't eat pizza, right? Would I bring a korban chatas for that, right? So Ezu Shigegas shvuas bitu l'shavar. What would be an example of when you make a mistake about when you swear in past tense? What would be an example where when you make a mistake about that, you would bring a korban chatas? Okay? Because as Rashi explains, if he didn't know, meaning if he swore, I ate pizza, and he really thought that he ate pizza, so if it turns out that he didn't actually eat pizza, he wouldn't bring a korban chatas, because at the time that he swore, he really thought that he did eat pizza. So, and if he intentionally swore that he ate pizza knowing that he didn't eat pizza, well then that would be b'mezid. What would be a situation of shogeg with past tense by a shavua? So the Gemara answers, Shem Omar, that if he said, Yodea ani sheshvua zo asura. If he says, look, I'm about to do a big fat lie. I'm about to swear that I ate pizza knowing that I didn't eat pizza. Ay, ay, ay. Aval eni yodea im chayavin alea korban o lo chayav. But I don't know if when it comes to shvuas bitu l'sha'avar, if I'm chayav a korban or not. I guess if I would do it by accident. So then he brings a korban chatas. So that would seem to be a kasha on what we just said, which is that when it comes to shvuas bitu, we don't say shigegas korban. Yet over here, when giving an example of shvuas bitu, shigegas shvuas bitu l'sha'avar, it's dafka saying when he doesn't know if he has to bring a korban or not, i.e. shigegas korban. So the Gemara says, Amani Munbaz. Yeah, but this brisa is Munbaz, who obviously recognizes shigegas korban. But it's no kash for what we said earlier, that Rabbi Yochanan and Rish Lakish and the Rabbanan would not say Shigegas korban by shvuas bitui. Okay, you guys got that? It's a little confusing, right? I think it was a little confusing, but alright. Hopefully you got that. V'amar Abai, okay, and Abai said another thing. Hakol modim, everyone agrees. Betruma, when it comes to truma, she'en chayavan alei chomesh ad sheyishgog bilav sheba. Okay, if a zar or any non-coin, right? What's truma? Everyone already knows what truma is. Everybody here knows what truma is. I know that. I know everybody over here already knows what truma is, right? Truma is when you have your field, the first 2% that you take, you give it to the coin, right? Everyone knows that. First Mishnah in Brachos came up 1,000,000 times. We all know this already. So now only a Kohen's allowed to eat truma. Nobody else is allowed to eat the truma, okay? So now what if somebody, a non-Kohen, accidentally ate truma? Let's say he ate $10 worth of truma. No, 10's not a good number. $20 worth of truma. So then, he has to replace the $20 worth of truma, but he also adds an additional 25%, which would be an additional $5, okay? So you'd return $25 worth of what you ate, okay? So, V'amar Abaye, akol modem b'truma, everyone who agrees that when it comes to truma, she'en chayavan alei chomesh ad sheyishgog b'lav sheba, right? That you're only going to be chayiv to pay this additional 25%, which is called a chomesh, because then at the end of the day, when we take the total of $25, the $5 that I added is 20%, 1/5 of the total. So you're only chayiv to pay this chomesh, when a non-Kohen eats truma by accident. Hakol modem man, Rabbi Yochanan. So who's the chiddush of Hakol modem? Everyone agrees. Even Rabbi Yochanan. Again, even Rabbi Yochanan, who says when it comes to my plowing my field on Shabbos, that if I do it intentionally, I could still bring a korban chatas. He would say that if a non-Kohen eats truma intentionally, he would not add the fifth. Right, meaning he would not be treated as somebody who did it b'shogeg. Pshita, obviously, Rabbi Yochanan would not, require him to add the fifth as if he was shogeg. He did it intentionally. When Rabbi Yochanan says that you can bring a korban chatas even when you do it intentionally, that's heicha deika karis. That's where there's a chiyuv karis, like on Shabbos. So if I plow my field intentionally, I could still bring a korban chatas since I didn't know that I'm chayiv karis. Heicha deleka karis. But over here, by truma, where there's no chiyuv kares, well then I wouldn't be able to bring a korban chatas, because what element of shogeg is there when I intentionally eat this truma, even though I'm not allowed to? So, in this case, actually, there's a good argument. So, Ma'ud I may have thought to say, Misa b'makom kares omedes. When it comes to eating truma, I might not be chayiv kares, but I'm chayiv misa b'dei shamayim. So what if I ate this truma intentionally, but I didn't know that I'm going to be chayiv misa b'dei shamayim? So I might have the havmina to say that just like Rabbi Yochanan says by plowing my field, that since, even though I know that I shouldn't be plowing my field, but I didn't know that I'll be chayiv kares, he says that's enough to consider it to be shogeg and you could bring korban chatas. So I may have thought here also that a non-Kohen who eats truma and didn't know that he's going to be chayiv misa b'dei shamayim, well, that could be enough to be considered shogeg, and therefore he should be chayiv to repay what he ate plus a fifth. So v'chishagag b'misa nami lichayiv. So therefore, when he made a mistake regarding, when he didn't realize that he'd be chayiv misa b'dei shamayim, he might still be able to add a fifth. Kamash malan, that is what Abaye is saying, that even Rabbi Yochanan would agree that if he intentionally ate this truma, even though he didn't know that he'd be chayiv misa b'dei shamayim, he would not bring the fifth since he ate this truma intentionally. Rava disagrees with Abaye and actually goes like that havamina, right? And says misa b'makom karis omedes. Actually, just like just like Rabbi Yochanan said by plowing the field, that since he didn't know about the karis, he could bring a korban chatas. Well, here also, since he didn't know about misa b'dei shamayim by the truma, so he would add the fifth, right? V'chomesh b'makom korban koi, and the fifth that it will add to this truma is, instead of the korban chatas, is the equivalent of the korban chatas that he would bring on Shabbos. So therefore, Rava says that just like Rabbi Yochanan would say on Shabbos that if he intentionally plows his field, he could bring a korban chatas if he didn't know that he's chayiv kares. So here also, if he intentionally ate the truma, he could still kind of repay it and just add a fifth if he didn't know that he'd be chayiv misa b'dei shamayim. Amar Rav Huna, says Rav Huna, Haya mahalech b'midbar v'enu yodea emosai Shabbos. Okay, things are lightening up a little bit over here, so that's good. Yeah, this first part of the daf was like a little complicated, right? So it says Rav Huna, if somebody was traveling in the desert, v'enu yodea emosai Shabbos, and he doesn't know when Shabbos is going to be, he's traveling in the desert, he mamish forgot what day of the week he is, and he does not know when Shabbos is going to be. So Mona Shisha Yamim U'Mishamer Yom Echad. So Rav Huna says what you do is, okay, just wherever you are, just from now on count 6 days, and the 7th day will be Shabbos. Chia Barav Omer Mishamer Yom Echad Umona Shisha. Whereas Chia Barav says no, what you do is make the next day, make it Shabbos, and then count 6 days after that. What is the machlokas between Chiya bar Rav and Rav Huna? So Rav Huna compares it to, or treats it like the creation of the world, where there were first 6 days of the week followed by Shabbos. Whereas Chiya bar Rav treats it like Adam Arishon, which is he was born on Friday. So basically his first, the next day was Shabbos, followed by 6 days afterwards. Meisve, we have a kasha. Okay, so we have a brisa that says that if a person was traveling and he doesn't know when Shabbos is, he lost track of the days of the week. So Mishamer Yom Echad L'Shisha. That's what the brisa says. He guards one day, meaning he treats one day as Shabbos for 6. So my love, Mone Shisha Mishamer Yom Echad. So we want to understand this as meaning he'll first count 6 days and then he'll make Shabbos like Rav Huna. Lo Mishamer Yom Echad Mone Shisha. So Chiya bar Rav will argue, no, it means that he first makes Shabbos and then counts 6 days after that. If that's the case, Mishamer Yom Echad L'Shisha, Mishamer Yom Echad Umona Shisha Mibailei. So the Gemara wants to say, if Chiya bar Rav's argument is correct, that what this brisa means is that first you have Shabbos followed by 6 days, well then instead of saying Mishamer Yom Echad L'Shisha, instead of saying he should keep one day of Shabbos L'Shisha, meaning that you'll have 6 followed by Shabbos, what it should say is Mishamer Yom Echad Umona Shisha. It should say that he should immediately, the next day should be Shabbos, and then count 6 days. Ve'od, okay, and that, so even if you want to argue that that's somewhat subjective, but nonetheless, Tanya, we have a brisa that says, if a person was traveling, Oba Midbar, or he's in the desert, and he doesn't know when Shabbos is, so what's the solution? Count 6 days, and then have Shabbos, just like Rav Huna, and this is a brisa. So tiyufta, the Chiya bar Rav tiyufta. So the Gemara says, Chiya bar Rav's in a shtickle pickle over here, and he can't get out of that one. So it sounds like Rav Huna was victorious over here, and the solution will be to count 6 days followed by Shabbos. Amar Rava, b'choyom vayom oselo k'dei panasaso bar me'ahu yoma. So says Rava. Now, the thing is, remember, he doesn't know which day is Shabbos. So the solution is just, okay, we have a kind of a b'diavad situation, so just count 6 days followed by Shabbos. But at the end of the day, that's not a solution. Still, any day of the week could theoretically still be Shabbos, or not even theoretically, likely Shabbos is going to fall out on one of the 6 days. So Rava says that even on these 6 days, he's literally only allowed to do the minimum amount that he can do, right? He can only do enough melacha for him to be able to eat and not die, but not more than that. Bar me'ahu yoma, with the exception being the day that he's setting aside as Shabbos, then he can't even, prepare food for himself. Ve'hu yoma limus? So the Gemara wants to say what? Should he just die on Shabbos? Like what? He can eat, during the 6 days of the week, he can do just the minimum amount for him to survive, and then on Shabbos he's not even allowed to do the minimum to survive, he should just die? So the Gemara answers, David me'esmo. No, the day before the day that he's designating as Shabbos, he should double his efforts and prepare enough for 2 days, so that the day he's designating for Shabbos, he has food. Right? David me'esmo shtei parnasos. V'dilma me'esmo Shabbos havai. But the Gemara says, yeah, but the thing is, we don't know which day is actually Shabbos. What if the day before his appointed Shabbos day is actually Shabbos? Well, then he's going to end up doing twice as much work as he needs to on that day. And, the food that he's preparing for the next day isn't food that he needs for that day, which is Shabbos, and it's going to be extra. And, he shouldn't be doing that if it happens to be Shabbos. So, ela kol yom vayom ose lo panasaso afilu ahu yoma. Rather, every single day of the week, you can do the minimum amount that he needs to survive. Vahu yoma b'may min karle. Well then, what's the significance of this 7th day being Shabbos? He's basically doing the same. Every single day, you're only allowed to do the minimum amount that you're able to in order to survive, and including that designated Shabbos day. Well, then what makes it different than any other day? The Gemara answers, "B'kidusha v'avdalta." he makes Kiddush at the beginning of it and Havdalah at the end, and that's what makes it different than the other days. Amar Rava, says Rava, this is interesting. What if he doesn't know what day of the week it is right now, but he does know how long ago he left? Meaning, he doesn't know days of the week, doesn't know what day of the week he left, he doesn't know what day of the week it is now, but he knows that he left 3 days ago, and of course he didn't leave on Shabbos. Or he knows that he left 4 days ago, whatever it is. Meaning, basically, he'll be able to know every time the day that he left. Meaning, he knows that he left, let's say 7 days ago, so this is now day 8. So he knows that this is essentially the same day of the week as the day that he left. And he didn't leave on Shabbos, so then every 7 days he can do malacha because he knows that this is the same day of the week that he left and he didn't leave on Shabbos. So Amar Rava, Hikir Miktas Ayom Shiatzabo, if he recognized part of the day that he left, meaning he doesn't know what day, part of it meaning that while he doesn't know what day of the week he left, but he does know that it was X amount of days ago, i.e. he'll be able to calculate each week which day, if the day that he had left on. So Osa Malacha Kol Ayom Kulo, so you can do Malacha all of that day. Pshita, the Gemara says, obviously you can do Malacha all of that day, because you know that that day is not going to be Shabbos. So Ma'ud the Tema came to Shabbos lo nafik, b'ma'ale Shabbat anami lo nafik. So the Gemara says, well, I may have had the opportunity to say, well, just like I'm not going to leave on Shabbos, so I'm also not going to leave on Erev Shabbos, because, I'm going to be traveling, I'm not going to get there before Shabbos. So, therefore, v'hai b'chamisha b'Shabbat nafik, lishtri leili mebed melacha trei yomei. So therefore, based on that logic, just like he didn't leave on Shabbos, well, he also wouldn't have left on Erev Shabbos. So maybe since he always knows which day of the week that he left, so he should be able to do Malacha that day. But he can also know that it certainly wasn't Friday either, so he can also do Malacha the next day, because he knows that the next day is not going to be Shabbos either. So I may have had the opportunity to say that. So, Kamash Malan, Zimnin Dimashkach, Shayarta, Umakre, Umikre Vinafik. So so what we're saying is that no, only on that day that he left would he be able to do malacha, but not the next day, because sometimes it might happen that there's a convoy that's leaving on Friday and you have no choice but to leave on Friday. So sometimes it could happen that you leave on Friday, so you can't just know for sure that you didn't leave on Friday. Okay. Hayodeh Ikr Shabbos. So the Mishnah said that if somebody knows, about Shabbos, he knows what Shabbos is, he knows 39 melachos, he knows all this stuff, somehow he doesn't realize that today is Shabbos. So we say that you'll bring a korben, let's say this happens 4 weeks in a row, so you'll bring 1 korben for each Shabbos that this happened. This is as opposed to somebody who, hikir l'vasov shachach, right? Somebody who knew what Shabbos was, but then completely forgot about Shabbos, in which case he would just bring 1 korban for all of the Shabbosos that he did melacha on. So the Gemara asks, so how do we know that there's this distinction between somebody who just completely forgot about Shabbos versus somebody who just messed up the days of the week? So Amar of Nachman, Amar Abba Bar Avua, Trei Krai Ksive. Well, there are 2 psukim. One says V'shamu b'nei Yisrael sa Shabbos, right? That the b'nei Yisrael guarded Shabbos. Shabbos is singular. Uchsiv, and it says V'shabsosai tishmaru. You will guard my Shabboses, which is plural. So okay, tzad. So V'shamu b'nei Yisrael sa Shabbos. When it says V'shamu b'nei Yisrael sa Shabbos, which is singular, so Shmira achas le Shabbosos harbe. So that's 1 guarding, i.e. 1 korban chatas for lots of Shabboses. Meaning, that is how we learn that if somebody completely forgot about Shabbos, he would bring, meaning about the entire concept of what Shabbos is, so he would just bring 1 korban chatas for all of the Shabboses that he did melacha on. V'shabsosai tishmaru, when we say Shabsosai tishmaru, in which case Shabbos is plural, Shmira achas l'chol Shabbos v'Shabbos, so then he's going to bring 1 korban for each and every Shabbos, i.e. when he knows what Shabbos is, but he just somehow messed up days of the week and he ended up doing melacha on Shabbos, so then he'll bring 1 korban for each Shabbos that this happened. Maskif lo Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak. Nachman bar Yitzchak asks the kasha, Adrab ibcha mistavra. Right? No, you should say the opposite. V'shamu b'nei Yisrael sa Shabbos. When it says V'shamu b'nei Yisrael sa Shabbos, Shmira achas l'chol Shabbos v'Shabbos, right? One shmira for each and every Shabbos, okay? I.e., when he knows what Shabbos is, but messed up the days of the week and didn't realize that today was Shabbos. V'Shabbososai tishmo shmira achas l'Shabbosos harbe. One korban for many Shabbosos, right? I.e., when he completely forgot what Shabbos is. So basically, Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak and Rav Nachman Amar bar Avua both agree, that if somebody completely forgets what Shabbos is, will bring one korban for all of the one korban total. Whereas somebody just messes up the day of the week, he'll bring one korban for each Shabbos that this happened. They just disagree on which of the two psukim you learn each one out from. Okay, that was Daf Samach Tes. I think it was a little complex. I'm pretty sure it was a little complex. Let's go over it. So one of the big distinctions for the page, which was, really more for like the first half of the page, was this Shigegas aveirah versus Shigegas korben, right? When you bring a korben chatas for a shogeg, so does this shogeg have to be in the malacha itself that you do? Or can you even be completely bemazed about the malacha that you do, but you had a shogeg regarding the fact you didn't realize that there was a korban chatas associated with this malacha or this aveirah? So can you still bring a korban chatas for that? So Munbaz says that, even if you are completely bemazed, completely intentional regarding the malacha that you did, regarding the aveirah, but you didn't know that there was a chiyuv korban chatas associated with this aveirah, so then you could still bring a korban chatas. Whereas the chachamim say that no, the shogeg needs to be in the activity, in the action that you're doing yourself, in the malacha that you're doing yourself. And there are two ways to understand the chacham. There's Rabbi Yochanan's opinion, who says that even if you do the malacha b'mezid, intentionally, but you just didn't know that there's a chiyuv kares there, right? So as part of the malacha that you did, there was a shogeg in that you didn't know that there was a chiyuv kares, so that's enough and you can bring a korban chatas. Whereas Reish Lakish says that no, you, in order to bring a korban chatas, you would also have to not know that this thing shouldn't be done at all. Okay. Then once we got into Amud Beis, we got into these kind of things about figuring out what day Shabbos is, which is interesting. So if you're in the desert and you don't know what day of the week it is, so Rav Huna said, just count 6 days and then have Shabbos, whereas Chia bar Rab says that no, first, just make Shabbos the next day and then follow that by 6 days. We ended up bringing a brisa to throw, basically, disqualify Chia bar Rab's opinion. And we say that you can prepare just when you're basically guessing what day Shabbos is, so then every day might technically be Shabbos, so you can really only prepare the minimum amount that you need to survive. And then interestingly, if he knows how many days ago he left, well then, meaning Kilu, if every single week he's going to know which day it is that he left, well he could do malach on that day because he can assume, because he knows that the day that he left was not Shabbos. Okay. Yeah, I think it was a cool daf. I hope you all enjoyed. Have a great day. Peace.